What's up, Jets fans? Welcome to the latest edition of Jets Latest, where you get the latest on the Jets, Jets. I'm your host, the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez, and today I want to talk about what the Jets could really be building talent-wise on the defensive side of the ball, including someone they may be targeting all the way up at number 2 in the 2026 draft. But before I do that, of course, I want to continue to thank everybody who is helping me grow this Jets Latest channel by watching these videos, liking these videos, telling a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend. And if you don't know, you need to subscribe. We are growing into one of the better Jets focused channels out there on YouTube, and I truly appreciate everybody. You don't have to just believe me. Check the comments and see what people are saying. So let's turn to the draft, okay? Because I believe that the Jets are going to go to the front 7 with that number 2 overall pick. A lot of people are talking about Ruben Bain Jr. I have said Ruben Bain Jr. A lot of people are talking about Reese out of Ohio State. But one of the names to have on your radar, a name that is zooming up draft boards, where more and more people think could go all the way up at number 2 with the Jets, is David Bailey. He is an edge rusher out of Texas Tech, and the reports are that the Jets are, quote-unquote, doing their homework on Bailey. I think Bailey, whereas Bain is a 3-down defensive lineman and is a good edge rusher, can also stop the run, Bailey, in my opinion, is by far the best pure edge rusher in this draft. He had 15 and a half sacks in just 15 games for Texas Tech, 21 tackles for a loss, right? 81 quarterback pressures, second most in the country. And the thing is, his pressure rate, okay, is over 22%. That compares favorably with guys like Will Anderson, now of the Houston Texans, Jared Verse, now of the Los Angeles Rams, Abdul Carter, who went top 5 overall last year, now with the New York Football Giants, right? And they have all been productive at the NFL level. David Bailey can too, okay? And he also had the best PFF grade of any edge rusher in college last year with a 93.4 PFF grade. A lot of the mock drafts out there, and I've said it before, have the Jets taking Reese or Bain, but Bailey could be another name that the Jets are definitely doing their homework on and potentially targeting in the draft. And the other thing that I think is good for the Jets in this is if they believe that Bailey can be that dude, right, and add to an edge rushing rotation with Jermaine Johnson, with Will McDonald. Remember, if you don't know and haven't seen some of the previous episodes of Jets Latest, I think they could also swing with a guy like Arden Key, Adafe Owe, AJ Epinesa, Kwity Paye in free agency to really build out the edge rush, right? What they could also do, if there is supply and demand, and you know about how I've been talking about it in Jets Latest, if they like Reese and Bain and Bailey, then there is also a chance that the Jets could, just like I say with number 33 overall, at number 2, trade down. Just a couple of spots, just down to 4 or 5, accumulate something else, and then take whichever one of these guys ends up in their lap. But doing the homework on Bailey is interesting. It is a true edge rusher getting pressure on the quarterback, and Bailey looks like someone who could really help the Jets or any defense at the edge rusher position. But like I said here, we're talking about adding to existing young talent on defense, and I'm not only talking about guys like Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, right? Guys like Brandon Stevens, who I think was a shrewd free agent pickup. A guy like Malachi Moore, who is honorable mention all rookie team. The Jets made one of the best trades last year, right after training camp, a shrewd move by Darren Muji, and they got Jawan Briggs. And let me tell you something, Jawan Briggs truly flashed, in my opinion, for the Jets this year. First of all, shout out to Muji, okay, because he got Briggs from the Cleveland Browns in August last year for swapping, in this draft, 6th and 7th round picks. That's all it took. And Briggs wound up with a PFF grade of 73.7. That was 17th among eligible interior defensive linemen last year. He was the 4th highest rated pass rusher, and he ranked in the top 20 in pressures and had fewer snaps than anybody, and everybody who had more pressures than Briggs, okay? So in terms of win rate and pressure rate, he was right up there. And then, remember, last year, after the Jets traded away Quinnen Williams, that's when Briggs really had a chance to sign. From weeks 10 to 18 last year, okay? Briggs had an 89.4 pass rush grade. That was second best among all interior defensive linemen in that second half of the season. He's only 24 years old, so there's room to grow here with him, and he was truly playing at an elite level in the second half of last year. Let me give you some more stats on him, okay? Second in pressure rate, over 13% for interior defensive linemen. Third in pass rush win rate at 15.2%. And here's the thing. The only other interior defensive lineman who can match these kind of statistical win rates and pressures of Jawan Briggs is Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons on the Titans. Jeffrey Simmons was an All-Pro last year, a 3-time All-Pro, a 4-time Pro Bowler. That is the level that Jawan Briggs was playing at last year. We are truly building, and we got him literally for swapping 6th and 7th round picks for the Cleveland Browns. And here's the other thing. When I talk about Briggs, he's got Harrison Phillips right next to him. And Harrison Phillips finished 24th among interior defensive linemen with a PFF grade of 72.5. And he, too, was, traded for towards the end of training camp, beginning of the season. 2 incredibly shrewd moves by Dane Martinez. If you want to be shrewd, if you want to have elite production, what you need to do is follow me and take Ultra pouches. Let me tell you something, okay? Ultra pouches are the move. They are completely nicotine free. They're completely caffeine free. How do they do it? They are packed with nootropics, okay? And the nootropics in them are designed to give you mental clarity, enhanced focus. You still get that kick though, like you would with a nicotine pouch. Maybe Briggs is on it. Maybe Phillips is on it. Maybe Jeffrey Simmons is on it, because they certainly had that energy, that get off from the interior defensive line, right? And they've got that clarity to be at an elite level. You too can be at an elite level with the Ultra pouches. And listen, you get the same effect as the nicotine pouch, but without the side effects of nicotine or caffeine. No crash, no jitters, none of those other side effects. My men know what I'm talking about. And Ultra is also trusted by athletes, entrepreneurs, engineers around the world. It is the ultimate guilt-free pouch with no nicotine, no caffeine, delivering instant focus and mental clarity, okay? But now, new customers, you can use the code FANARCH and get 15% off at takeultra.com. That's takeultra.com, 15% off with your code FANARCH. And then after your purchase, they're going to ask you how you heard about them. Please support the show, support Jets Latest, and tell them that the Spittin' Statistician sent you over at Jets Latest. All right? But let me tell you something. Jawan Briggs, great addition, youth in the defense for the Jets. But Dane Martinez didn't only acquire good defensive guys by trade. He drafted some too. Remember Malachi Moore out of Alabama last year, and also Azareye'h Thomas. And that's what I want to talk about next. Listen, A.Z. Thomas, he flashed, and he's part of the reason I think the Jets decided that they could move on from Sauce Gardner, right? He can handle a starting role. He's going to be, in my opinion, the starting cornerback opposite Brandon Stevens next year. He was honorable mention on the all-rookie team. He had 7 pass breakups in only 12 games played. He allowed an under 50% completion rate. He had one of the highest tight window coverages in the league, okay? And among rookies, he was one of the best. Okay, he forced the highest incompletion rate among rookies last year with 20%. Okay, that means that if you threw at A.Z. Thomas, you could not complete the pass that well. He flashed. He is someone I'm excited. He missed the end of the year with a shoulder injury, right? Only played in 12 games, started in 5 after the Sauce Gardner. But what I'm saying is, we have got young talent on defense. A.Z. Thomas, Jawan Briggs. I still believe in Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, and I think we're going to add the cherry on top at number 2 overall. I have been talking about Ruben Bain. A lot of the people out there think it's Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. But do not be surprised if in the next month or two, leading up to that day when the Jets call a name at number 2 overall, you hear more and more about David Bailey, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech. If they want just a true edge rusher who can get after the quarterback, get pressure, which the Jets absolutely need because they were bottom of the league in sacks and pressure rate and all that, and obviously the turnovers, right? I think Bailey is a name that merits consideration and merits watching, all right? So that'll do it for this episode of Jets Latest. But like I said, I love everybody that engages with the channel. Let's see what some of you Jets Latest regulars have to say. Mike Saunders, 9493, says, please Please no Carr. Talking about Derek Carr, one of these options that might be out there. He says he isn't really as good as his numbers may suggest. Plus, he missed a year and is coming off a torn shoulder. Brissett is my number one. I want to sign him last offseason. Tanner McKee is my number two. Listen, if you have been watching Jets latest, you know Brissett is also my number one. And I talked about how the Cards may be interested in like Tyson Bagent. They may be willing to move or shift in their quarterback room. I think Brissett can be had for a fourth-round pick. Remember, the Jets have fourth, fifth round pick surplus. I think Jacoby Brissett could be the number one option as well. Remember, he also has that experience with Frank Reich, so we shall see. Demore Slimbeth 2273 says, could not even agree more. That was when I did my roster reconstruction series, telling you in the front seven, in the secondary, O-line, skill position, all of that. So thank you for that. I'm telling you, in the comments, we are building one of the best Jets YouTube channels out there. Tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend. And then Joe Grania 2303 says, this is the most common sense, correct team plan, and one on any channel is portraying. More people need to get on the Lindenbaum bandwagon, okay? Screw the Giants, pay it whatever it takes. I allocated in my plan to try to get Lindenbaum, I said I'd pay him $18 to $20 million a year. Top of the market if we can get it. Can you imagine if we put Tippmann back at guard? Okay, put a three-time Pro Bowler at center with Fashanu, with Member, then bring back either Simpson or AVT and draft a guy like Emmanuel Pregnon at number 33 overall. I think we maintain O-line as a strength, maintain the run game as a strength. I've already said franchising Breece Hall, if needed, is the way to go. Maybe the Javonte Williams contract helps us not have to franchise Breece Hall and keep whoever that quarterback is. And Frank Reich likes the tall pocket passers, right? Brissett, Cousins, Carr, whoever it winds up being, and that O-line can protect that veteran bridge quarterback. That's the way I think it is going. But listen, combine going on. We got free agency on the horizon, draft on the horizon, coaching changes happening. Jets Latest is the place to be. Tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend. And if you want to hear more from me, the spitting statistician Dane Martinez, you could also check me out over on SiriusXM. I'm the host of the FTN Fantasy Show. FTN is a great website, projections, data, rankings, all sorts of stuff to make you a better fantasy player. You can also catch me on SportsGrid, hosting in-game live, among other things. SportsGrid is a great betting channel out there. If you want to dip your toe into live betting, I got you on in-game live. And as always, you can follow me on social media at Spittin' Speeds. I am here. Tell a Jets fan friend to tell a Jets fan friend. It could be an exciting time if we finally start to grow this green and white with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. That'll do it for this episode of Jets Latest. For now, we out of here. Peace.